First to Clive Palmer. He's got plenty of money, plenty of toys, including a soon-to-be-built Titanic replica. And now he wants to be our next Prime Minister. He's resurrecting the United Australia Party, which is famous for producing Prime Ministers Joseph Lyons and Robert Menzies. And pleased to say that Clive joins us now. Good morning to you, Clive. We're only 5 months out from this election.
Good morning, Cameron.
Was it a rush of blood, or have you been thinking about this for a while?
Oh, no, I think the people of Australia have been contacting me for a long time saying we need to do something. I think if you're happy, if you're satisfied with everything that's being done now, you can vote again for Julia Gillard and Tony Abbott. But if you believe, as I do, that Australia can do more, that the citizens of Australia are entitled to a bigger dividend, they should give the United Australia Party their vote.
Yeah, it would seem
so that's why we did it. We think we can do better.
Well, it does seem that people are disenchanted with Julia Gillard, and that Tony Abbott hasn't cemented himself as a very strong alternative in a lot of people's minds. So what makes you different, Clive? Why would we vote for you?
Well, basically, the political system in Australia is controlled by lobbyists, and lobbyist firms advise both sides of the politics. In a lobbyist firm, you have an ex-Liberal minister, maybe an ex-Labor minister. It doesn't matter who gets in government. If a businessman comes along like me and offers us $1 million, that's the result you get, whether it's in the interest of the public or not. And I think that should change. I mean, I've been in the Liberal National Parties for over 40 years. I'm the former spokesman for the National Party, and I'm the former media director. I've been a life member of the Liberal Party. I know what goes on, and I don't think it's in the best interest of the country, and we're going to change it. We're going to make Australians entitled to receive the money that they're entitled to. I mean, we've got $1 at 105, but this domestic economy's wrecked. Out in the bush, in all the cities around this country, there are unemployed people that are not being looked after. The government needs to show leadership. It's time for Australians to stand up for their country.
Well, Tony Abbott seems to refuse to tell anyone what his policies are. What are yours, Clive? What's your major platform?
Well, one of our first policies is one that we don't allow lobbyists to be party officials of parties or to have an influential position within the party organisation and structure, something that Tony Abbott's against. And he has a lobbyist as for his vice president, for example. We don't allow that to happen. So if you want policies similar to Tony Abbott's but not having lobbyists, vote for us, because lobbyists blocks all the policies. Secondly, we want to abolish the carbon tax, but not from when we're elected. We want to abolish the carbon tax from when it was introduced, so that people in New South Wales will get a refund of the electricity prices they've paid this year. It's been extraordinary. Unemployed people in the Latrobe Valley of Victoria will be at a whole different basis. There's 25% unemployment in Latrobe Valley. There's industries closing down this country because we've got a carbon tax that's $29 while the Europeans pay $3. That's a tax on our industry. It's a tax on our jobs. It's a tax of investment. Clive, so we're going to change all that.
Clive,
there's more importantly, a policy we've got about refugees. You know, there's $5 billion the government spends every year of your money that could go into hospitals, educations, while people suffer, as the Gonski report showed, in our primary schools and our secondary schools. We're going to stop that. We're going to adopt the same policies that apply all around the world. If people want a ticket to come here from Indonesia and it costs them $800 and they don't have a visa, let them come. And we'll deal with them at the airport, and if we don't think they're legitimate refugees, we'll send them straight back. But we're not going to refuse to allow them to board the aircraft like they do now, so they go over and see the people smugglers and pay $20,000 and then have our Navy blockading them. It's just a crazy policy. You know why it's there? It's there because public servants get paid 300 to 400% of their normal salary to go off and work offshore in Australia. They're going to get the right policy advice. We're just going to put some common sense back into government.
Common sense and government? Come on, Clive. Not even you can do that.
Well, it's a hard one, but we've got to try, because this country's too important. Your family's too important. Their future's too important. It's better to try to do something. I've been criticised. They'll attack me personally because I've said that of 23 million Australians, we should have more than two choices. We should have freedom of speech in this country. We should have plurality. It's not dishonourable to stand for office, the highest office in the land. It's not dishonourable for someone to have a different political view. Yet the Liberal Party demonises the Labor Party and vice versa. We're all Australians. We've just had Anzac Day where we've honoured people that went away and fought for this country. They didn't fight as Labor Party or Liberal Party members. They fought as Australians. We need a party that's going to unify the country, unify all Australians to fight for what we need and the needs of the community. And that's why we've established United Australia Party at unitedaustraliaparty.org. You should join it, and so should your viewers.
Well, look, Clive, you've had ideas in the past and then they sort of drift off a little bit and we don't hear from them again. Are you going to follow through on this one? Because, you know, a lot of people looking at your situation would say, why does this bloke need the pain? You know, self-made billionaire, you don't need to do this to yourself.
Well, my family's got a strong commitment to this country. I lost my great uncle in the First World War. We had 5 people fight in New Guinea in World War II, and some on the Kokoda Trail. My nephew, Group Captain Martin Brewster, went up with Inifed in Timor. All of those people have given much more service to this nation than I ever could. And if I've got a certain specialist knowledge, I mean, we've got people that couldn't run a chuck shop running a $1.5 trillion economy. I think I can do better. I've had the experience, I've got the runs on the board, and it's wrong to say I don't follow through with things. That's just a detractors. We've got our dinosaurs at Coolum, like I said we would have. We're building the Titanic now. When I go to New York and I go to London, and I'm the World Secretary General of the World Leadership Alliance, which has got over 100 different heads of state. They realise what we've done, and they realise Australia can do more, and we can do better. We've got to care about the people that are out there. How can it be that we've got the highest infant mortality rate in the world with Aboriginal people, that children are dying every day? You don't hear that from Julia Gillard. You don't hear that from Tony Abbott. They don't really care, because children, unborn children in particular, don't have a vote. But they matter to me, and they should matter to the future of this country.
What about gay marriage?
Well, they're all social issues. And socialism from the United Australia Party, everyone has a free vote. It's a matter of conscience. And when you think about gay marriage, you think about all of these issues, you've got to look at what the legislation says and what the impacts will be, and all proposals are different. So it's hard for me to form a conclusion until I know what you're talking about.
You know what? It's starting to make a lot of sense, Clive. Did I hear you cheering for Souths in the break? At least one thing's going right in the world.
Well, you know, John Sattler... Yeah, well, John Sattler comes to my league clubs, Gold Coast Tigers, where I used to play football, and Ron Coote and those sort of guys. They're great icons of Australia, real Australians that have stood up for Australia. I've got to stand up now because no one else will. Do you really think Tony Abbott's the guy to be Prime Minister? Do you really think in the bottom of your heart that Julia Gillard cares about you and your family? Of course they don't. Give us your support. UnitedAustralia.org. Get on there today and become a member, and we can change this country.
We'll watch it with interest, Clive, and thanks for your time this morning.
It's a pleasure. All the best.
Clive Palmer there, Layla.
Yes.